Well, hey there, this is Pastor Scott of the First Christian Church here in Lathrop, Missouri, and this is your Midweek Minute. But before I begin, I'd like to encourage you to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get more of this content when it becomes available. But like I said, this is your Midweek Minute. You know, I was rereading the birth narrative in the Gospel of Luke, Luke chapters 1 through 2, and there is so much in Luke's chapters 1 and 2. Think of what happens, especially when we look at verses like 28 to 40. We have two people that are righteous people. They're looking for the Christ. They're looking for the salvation of Israel. And when Jesus comes into the temple with mom and dad, those two people, Simeon and Anna, recognize the Christ. Christ wasn't hiding from them. They were looking for him, and they easily found him. You know, one of the biggest claims against Christianity these days in the pluralistic world we live in is that Christianity is exclusive, that we want to exclude a bunch of people, that we're not inclusive. Well, I find that to be an absolute lie. It's dishonest to say something like that. All you have to do is read Scripture and you see that Christianity is not exclusive, it is inclusive. It's for the Jew and the Gentile, it's for male and female, it's for slave and free. All those things point to inclusivity. But even in the birth narrative and who Jesus picks as disciples, we can see it's inclusive. Think of Mary and Joseph. They didn't have a whole lot of money. Think of Simeon and Anna. Many people probably thought they was a little crazy, always hanging out at the temple saying, "Oh, I'm waiting for the salvation of Israel. Walk in that door." Think of Zechariah and Elizabeth, an older couple that is, by all rights, is religious. He's a priest. And in all those instances, guess what? They looked for Christ and they found Christ. But look at the disciples even. We have rich disciples and we have poor disciples. We have well-educated disciples. We have not so educated disciples. Fishermen, religious scholars, just everybody. Think of Mary and Martha. Here you have two women. I remember everyone talks about how Christianity doesn't want to include women, right? Well, I just named a whole bunch of women, and now I can add Mary and Martha. We can look in other places of the New Testament, and we see all these women serving. So no, we don't exclude. We are very inclusive. God and Christ are very inclusive. There's really one requirement. You go to any club or any organization and you say there's only one requirement, people's going to be like, wow, you include everybody. That's right, and so does Christianity. What's that one thing? Do you believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God? And attached to that number one is, not only do you believe it, but do you act and live as if that is true, as if you do believe it? And so, no, we're not exclusive. We are inclusive. And I'd encourage you, actually, look around your neighborhood. I'm sure there's a few people in your neighborhood you're like, oh, that person will never believe. Oh, that person would never go to church. Well, this week, I'm going to challenge you. You go and you invite that person. Invite them to church. Invite them to the Valentine's dinner. Invite them into a relationship with their Redeemer, God. Again, my name's Pastor Scott of the First Christian Church here in Lathrop, Missouri. If you want to find out more about us, our information's in the description section of this video. I want to hear from you. And I do pray this message finds you well.